Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of JustNoMil. In today's episode, ML seems to have realized she needs me more than I need her after losing her retirement funds. Update: unsure how to proceed. My partner and I eloped, and now ML is having the worst time of her life. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. ML seems to have realized she needs me more than I need her after losing her retirement funds. I just need to get this off my chest. My husband, 37M, and I, 34F, have been married 9 years and together nearly 12. The relationship with ML was a struggle from the beginning. She refused to speak to me the first time we met. She wouldn't even ask me if I would like a particular restaurant and instead asked my husband, "Will she eat that?" while I'm in the car too sitting beside him. On many occasions, I excused myself so she couldn't see me cry. She threw a fit after learning my husband and I planned to elope. I compromised too much, and our wedding ended up feeling like a huge party we threw for them and their friends. For years, she was critical, complained, and talked around me. FL acted similarly at times, but less so and less frequently. Husband admits he should have stood up to them, and for me from the beginning. Thankfully and strategically, we live 600 miles away, so contact is limited. The relationship has improved over the years, and we get along well enough for holidays and weekend visits. It helps that I've become close with other family members. I really wanted a great relationship with them and put up with more than I should have because of that. At this point, cordial and friendly is all I can do. I get along great with my BIL. He is getting married in a couple weeks, and I really like my future SL too. They met in October 2022. It's interesting watching how quickly ML has accepted future SL. ML and FIL visited us in November. I was at work when they told my husband, then we all went to dinner, and they told me. They invested in indexed universal life insurance and both retired 3 years early counting on it. I don't know why they didn't check before retiring, but they've lost all the money. They planned on receiving $30,000 a year in medical/long-term care benefits. It included a life insurance policy to be paid to my husband and BIL, $500,000 each. They're working with a lawyer to sue for fraud. They are in a terrible situation, and I can't imagine how stressful this is for them. My husband says they have other retirement savings, but it will be very different from what they planned. Honestly, I didn't know what to say when they told me. It seemed like they wanted to break the news to me, which felt really odd. It was an uncomfortable conversation. Then, Emile makes it worse. She looks right at me and says, "BIL told me future Estelle would take care of me." Then BIL said, "No, Mom, really, she will." They had barely known each other a year. Why would BIL offer up his fiancée to take care of Emile instead of himself? I don't know that I believe this conversation even happened. It felt very manipulative. She tells me the life insurance policy was for me too. It wasn't though. 2 months prior, FIL met with BIL and my husband to review their will. Husband shared with me, among other things, that the will and policy state that if something happens to him, his half goes to BIL. I knew she was lying. Again, it felt very manipulative. There is another layer to this. My husband's financial outlook is much better than BIL's, and we are not having children. We've known about the life insurance policy for years, but it's always been like mythical money we did not plan to need. Essentially, we're a better backup plan than BIL. The week after they left, Emile texts me that she scheduled us hair appointments and that her friend would do our makeup before the wedding. I responded saying thank you, but that I already made plans for hair and makeup with my husband's cousins. She never responded. I've heard FIL mention my hair/makeup appointment to my husband during 2 separate phone conversations. If she is offended, I do not care. The consequences of her treatment of me are her own fault, and getting ready together like 2 girlfriends is a level of hell I do not want to attend. I am equally excited about the wedding as I am dreading spending 4 days at her house. Tell Emile she needs to keep sucking up to your new SIL because the ship has sailed with you. Yep. The whole situation with Estelle is funny. I'm a southern redhead and my SIL is a southern, dyed redhead. She judged me for my accent, but SIL's is way worse. It's like Emile got around too. All I would say is that you and your DH need to be in lockstep for expectations. Really come up with scenarios ahead of time and how you plan on responding as a team. What happens if one of them becomes seriously ill, like cancer or dementia? What happens if they lose their home and are homeless? What happens if they show up on your doorstep demanding to live with you? What happens if your DH's entire family gang up on him and tell him that it's his responsibility to bail his parents out? Sit down, have this discussion, write down your agreements. While it's fresh, revisit the agreement every few months to make sure you are on the same page. Having these conversations and agreements now will save your marriage later on when things go pear-shaped. When the topic easily flows into conversation, bring up the subject with BIL and new SIL, and find out if that conversation with MIL even happened. I would bet my next meal that ML told the other couple exactly the same thing about you and your husband. My other son said OP will always look after me. She's playing both sides to prep for the future. What she doesn't realize is both couples will compare notes. If the conversation is true, respond with how noble and selfless of you both. I don't have that kind of relationship with MIL. I like this angle. I hadn't thought of her playing both sides. Update. Unsure how to proceed. DH actually spoke to his mom. He went over to her house while I was in the shower. He told her that I wanted to speak to her, and she was concerned, thinking I was mad at her. He told her that I wasn't mad or upset with her, just that if it had been anyone else that had laid their hands on me the way she did, I would have absolutely lost my shit on them. She apologized to him, and he told her that I have boundaries that she's not been respectful of, and that it needs to change. I think I may just leave it at that unless she crosses them again, and then I'll speak to her myself. ETA, we were at her house today. I honestly don't even remember why, and she didn't touch me. She didn't apologize to me, but she didn't try to touch me at all. I still intend to have a conversation with her, but I felt it would have been inappropriate given the fact that they were speaking about the family member who has passed and plans they had to make sure his immediate family feels rallied around. Also adding, because apparently it's important, DH and I got together December 1st, 2023. We got married January 15th, 2024. Found out I was pregnant a couple days later. I don't understand why how long we've been together matters, but he and I have 12 years of history. We were together before, and I joined the army. He didn't want to leave his mom after his brother died, and I don't blame him. We decided to be friends. We both regretted it every day since, because life kept getting in our way. We are incredibly fortunate and excited that life fell perfectly into place for us this time. We have always described each other as right person, wrong time. Since everything fell into place this time, we both agreed we didn't want to wait. When you know, you know. And we knew. I understand that's not everyone's cup of tea. But it works for us, and we're incredibly happy. So, the two of them have, collectively, decided that they worked it out between them, and therefore you are okay? Where are you in this? Where is your apology? Now, this woman is supposedly aware she has violated your boundaries, but she is talking about it with someone who is not you. And if this was a sincere relationship repair attempt aimed at you, someone would actually be asking you your opinion. But I don't see any mention of that. Don't let them tell you that everything is fixed now. Opie, they both should be asking you if you are okay with this resolution. Why is the resolution to this not involving you? Why are the two of them collectively deciding if your needs are being met? Hon, you need to rethink a lot here. You are acting grateful for crumbs of attention, when this should be all about apologizing to you and checking in with you to make sure you are okay. Instead, they have decided for you, and your DH has informed you of the result. I suppose you are expected to drop it now, because it's all okay now, right? Oh, no. No, it's not. Your DH seems to feel that if he feels okay about it, you should feel okay about it. And since his mother has told him it's now okay, it is now a closed subject, because he has decided this settled it for now. But no one is asking you, the person involved, if you're okay. That's messed up. Messed up. Either you have abandoned advocating for yourself and are letting them decide things for you they have no business deciding for you, or you are being disregarded despite you stating your needs in a mature way. Maybe a bit of both, but this ain't right, and don't let them gaslight you into thinking it is. They cannot determine how you feel unless they ask, and doesn't seem like anyone is asking you. They are telling you. Red flags. Nope. She apologized to him. He told her that I have boundaries that she's not been respectful of, and that it needs to change. She needs to apologize to you. And we have boundaries. Your DH needs to man up and be clear that it's what you both want. She isn't going to change. Start how you intend to finish. First, congratulations. Now to the reality of the situation. She didn't apologize to you. This is just a preview of what will happen when you're showing, when you're laboring, when baby is here. So many stories here start with, my ML was fine until I got pregnant. This is how your story is starting. It's time to set boundaries, including no touching and no more dropping by. If she has a key, it's time to change the locks. Your DH talked to her, but she needs to apologize to you. And apologies don't mean anything if the behavior doesn't change. Be prepared to react and be firm. When you see her again and she forgets or said she was sorry or any of the 1,000 other excuses she'll trot out when she laser focuses on your belly and tries to touch you again. I hope you stay safe and healthy, and again, congrats on your little one. She should apologize directly to you, with all the half-dozen elements of a sincere apology. You are not your husband's appendage. She apologized to him, not you. Now is the time to hold her accountable. Set your boundaries now and have consequences if she breaks them. You've said you are already nervous about what happens when baby is born. Do it now. Don't wait till you are postpartum and dealing with a newborn and see if it gets worse. Because, well, it will get worse. Big hugs to you, Mom. My partner and I eloped, and now ML is having the worst time of her life. My so and I had been together for 4 years when we got engaged. After being engaged for 1.5 years and becoming pregnant with our first child, we finally decided to elope. My SO's parents live about 2,200 kilometers away, and we typically see them once or twice a year, speaking on the phone/messaging occasionally. My so and I always had planned to elope. Initially, we had a destination elopement in mind. Since we have a baby on board, we decided to start our marriage sooner. Even though we told SO's parents many times we wanted to elope, my so knew his mom would be upset, so he called her the day before our nuptials to let her know. This turned out to be the worst idea ever. My so called his dad in the afternoon. Lo and behold, MIL had already told him. Now FL was mad too. The in-laws wanted to send us a wedding gift so we could celebrate with dinner that night. Very kind of them. However, we'd already arranged our night out. We asked if perhaps we could celebrate with them when we saw them next instead. The morning of the wedding, MIL was messaging my so with accusations and that we weren't allowing them to be part of our day even through a gift. Very thoughtful of them. But from my thinking, if they wanted to give us a gift, afterwards would have been fine. In hindsight, we should have not said anything about our plans and just told MIL plus FIL after. When we received photos from our small ceremony and photography after, we shared them with MIL, and we're also excited to tell friends that we'd finally eloped. We made our social media announcement on Australia Day and have since been accused of ruining ML's Australia Day because she was at a friend's house for a barbecue and was inside crying all day. 2 days after Australia Day, MIL video called me. Doesn't usually do this. Crying, she'd written a 3-page document about why she's so upset. She told me she wanted to get through it all because she was so emotional and asked me to not speak until the end. Her notes included how looking at our photos made her so upset, how she was at work when my so called her to tell about elopement and she went deathly pale, and that people rushed to her in case someone died, how she called our wedding a shotgun wedding to her boss, how her friends were asking her what's going on with Son plus Opie's wedding and she knew nothing. You get the point. I wasn't allowed to interject through her soliloquy, and at the end, every point I made was snapped at. I tried explaining how we'd always wanted to elope and what that means. The video call ended rather terribly. Now ML is vague booking about how the best thing about the worst time of your life is seeing people's true colors. We sent her a skin update of baby, high-risk pregnancy, and she just sent us a thumbs up. I feel so frustrated. We were so clear we wanted to elope. I feel like so, and I aren't allowed to be happy about our marriage and that she's expecting us to rush to her to make sure she's okay. Going forward, I'm reluctant to send updates about the baby. My so is feeling crap because he feels ostracized from his family. It's just such a crap situation. The best thing about people reacting so horribly to one of the best times of your life is seeing people's true colors. It's too bad you and DH didn't make your wedding all about JustNoMil. Perhaps you can do that when you deliver LO. Will there be room for her to get on the bed with you? Too bad I didn't get her a white dress and fancy flowers too. Thanks for the laugh. I really needed that. She took your wedding and made it all about her. How she didn't get what she wanted out of the start of your marriage. She's making y'all responsible for her unreasonable emotions. Her feelings are neither your problem nor your responsibility. The video calling would have been me hanging up. If she can't grow up and move on, keep your baby updates to yourself. You don't need the stress. Drop the rope. She wants to have a pity party? Fine. Let her have it alone and not ruin your happiness. Don't bother giving her updates about the baby either, because she doesn't care. She can't fit that into her narrative of being snubbed and wronged. So instead of being hurt by her lackluster or no replies, just don't bother. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you in the next video.